Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late here. I hope everybody's doing okay. You are at Sow and Tare. This is the live chat. Live chat we do weekly, Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we do this every Monday. So, welcome. We are keeping things family friendly, and I hope you guys brought some things to talk about, some questions. We're going to do question answer, and then I have topic of discussion uh, when we get into it. And I did want to start off the conversation. I know we have a bunch of politics starting, and I wanted to remind people that we're not talking politics on this channel. I know a lot of YouTube commercials are going on and stuff, and I have opted out of the political and religious categories for ads. If you see stuff on there, that let me know because it shouldn't be on there. And reminder that people's YouTube channels, you don't get to pick which exact commercial is shown. However, you should not be shown political stuff on my channel. We're not talking about it here. So, this is a welcome community for everybody to talk about homesteading related topics. And you want to talk about other stuff, talk about it somewhere else. So, I just wanted, not an issue yet, right? But I wanted to make sure we had that discussion. All righty, going up to the top here, keeping things family friendly. I know Dawn was first already. It doesn't show up here, but I know she was. All right, let's get going. So Verna's here. Vase places Verna. She's in blue with a little wrench, and she's moderator. And if you would like to learn how to grow things in apartment setting, check out her channel. That's what she does. Hey, Katrina. Seems like I am first here tonight. There you go. There you go. You made it. I was a little late. Joy's here. Welcome, Joy. Hello, all from Western Oregon. Hello. Dawn's in my comments first and already moved. I know it does that. The early comments I never see if someone's super early. Yeah. All right. And Dawn is saying hello. Everybody's saying hi. All right. Dawn was watching cute bird videos. I get it. I get it. Have you seen the ones where they put like human arms and on the birds and they narrate for the birds? I'm usually not one to that likes like people talking for the animals, but that one is hilarious. Anyway, um yeah. Oh, Dawn has foot on ice, day 3, and only half the swelling is down. Hope to get some good magic on PT ice machine. Oh, that one of those cold things that goes around? I've heard of those. And a squeezer thing to remove the swelling. Yeah, Dawn, I have sprained many an ankle. I know I only have 2. Um, and Epsom salt baths help tremendously. Again, not a doctor. That's letting you know what has helped me. And Epsom salt baths have helped tremendously. Um, and then they used to have you heat for 20 minutes, then ice for 20 minutes, ice for 20 minutes, heat for 20 minutes, ice for 20 minutes. They used to have you do that back and forth, always starting and ending with ice. I don't think that's the current way of doing things though. So I think they've now gone to all ice. But let us know what your people say because you're the one going through it and you have actual health professionals around you. Um, and I know at one point that was the theory is that you calm the swelling and then get the blood that has all the stuff in it through and then calm it again. So I don't know. I just ice now. I only use ice now and then salt baths. So good luck. Silver Creek's here. Hello, Tommy. Howdy, Earthlings. Your garden looks like it's growing really, really well. My garden is growing. There is at least one raccoon, and you guys will see videos of me trying to catch a video of the raccoon. I didn't do it this time, but I did include, this will be Thursday. I did include some wildlife camera video from the backyard from think it was from 2020 when I did get 3 raccoons. Yeah, 3 raccoons hung out for quite some time in my yard eating everything. So I have only eaten one of the zucchinis because the other ones keep on disappearing. And I've had 3 cucumbers. I need to actually get in there and search for the cucumbers. So I think there's probably more that I can find that they haven't found yet. But yeah, they're having fun in the garden. All right. PJ's here. Good evening, my friends. Good evening, PJ. I hope you are doing well. Happy July, everyone. All right. Dawn says hope so, or Verna says hope so to Dawn. Yep. All right. Everybody said hi. Okay, Verna's asking Tommy if you're coming to Quail and Homesteading Con. I'm asking everyone, are you coming to Quail and Homesteading Con? I'll be there. I'm going to be talking about rabbits this year. Last year I talked about aviary growing your quail, raising your quail in aviaries. This year I'm talking about raising rabbits at a homestead level, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good event. When Zach has just expanded the heck out of this, and it's looks like there's gonna be a lot of fun things to do, a lot of information, new information, same information. It's looking like it's going to be a really good event. Yeah. Yes, I was late. Sorry, Verna. I got orange juice though. Orange juice is my drink of the night. I didn't realize I was 3 minutes late. Sorry, I thought it was like 1. All right. Hello, hello. When is it? Good question, Tommy. Quail and Homesteading Con is August 31st and September 1st at my Shire farm. And Verna, can you find the link for that? You probably already did, but there's a link for tickets. That is in Ohio. And I need to get my plane ticket actually, and my motel and car and stuff. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, Labor Day weekend, exactly. 2 days. All right. 10 hours after it was launched. You were first to sign up for QuailCon? Were you, Dawn? Or were you? I don't know. TM's here. Hello, everyone. I made it to this live chat. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. All right. Dawn says I was watching a parrot doing a moonwalk to Michael Jackson. That's hilarious. There's a bird. I don't know what kind of bird. I'm not good with the it's a it's one of the pet birds. I'm not good with what kinds what. But the neighbor across the street in Over One has a couple birds that talk. And so in the summertime, and they have the windows open, you'll hear it. And it goes, shut up. Nice thing to learn. It'll meow like a cat left out in the rain. It will whistle the first bar of Winnie the Pooh, and then nothing. And then you have that song in your head. I really was not understanding where all that was coming from at some point, and it wasn't happening all the time. It also does that whistle, and that was really creepy because I had just moved in. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff in the front yard, and I kept on hearing this person whistling at me. And in the middle of the day, I was taking time off work to do some stuff in the yard, and where is this coming from? There's nobody outside, and it was the bird. But yeah, the Winnie the Pooh whistle. For some reason, it was in my head. It wasn't registering that I was actually hearing it, because I think it's if it was in the backyard or maybe in the house or something. I'm like, why is Winnie the Pooh in my head? Why? And now it's probably all in your guys' head now. But yeah, it was just the first do 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 do. And then that's it. Anyway, yeah, that was. There we go. There's my little story about the neighborhood or neighbor's bird. Okay. Verna's checking on your food. That's a good thing to do. Hopefully it's not too hot. It is down to 88. It got up to 95 today. It was only supposed to get up to, I think, 90. Yeah, it always goes hotter than what it says. Yeah. All right. Huga's here. Hello, hello. Welcome. Everybody saying hello. Dawn says Epsom salt baths several times a day. Icing, gave up on all the extra herbs and got, I don't know what DMSO is, but hopefully it helps. You have 24 days to be in front of the surgeon and still have to walk on extra 22 feet. Okay. Yeah, Epsom salt. So again, I'm not a doctor. I'm speaking from my own experience and from what I have gleaned. Epsom salts are it's good because of the stuff that gets into your body through the skin barrier, and one of the most important things for that is magnesium. So magnesium is really, really good for your muscles. Other things that have like magnesium, potassium, that kind of stuff, those are good for your muscles too. But magnesium is the one that a lot of people like. If you're feeling, again, not a doctor, but if you're feeling down, if you're feeling like, oh, I just feel yucky, I feel down, sometimes magnesium is the answer for that. And life choices too, right, guys? But sometimes Epsom salt bath can help with that. But it also just gets into the muscle, gets into the soft tissue, and just does its magic, right? So I love Epsom salts. I don't use them very often. I should use them probably more than I do, but it's okay. All right. TM says you need to take good care of your feet. When they go bad, you will miss them. True. Dawn sprained her ankle. That's what happened. She's already dealing with some other issues. Yeah. All right. Silver Creek says we had to give up melons, except one raised bed watermelon I have. Squash bugs have been getting them in mass. Oh no. You need a predator. What eats squash bugs? I've never had like a problem with squash bugs. We don't really have that here. There's some squash bugs. They're the cucumber beetles. I think they're the same thing, or they're the ones that we have here. We call them cucumber beetles, and they do a little bit, but they don't like. They don't. I don't think they bore into. I mean, I hear about squash bugs being a problem. Where they are a problem, they're a real problem. But yeah, so what eats them? Because I know I try and do a mixed yard to the extent that you have, pollinators, plants, you have plants that predator insects come to, you have birds, which are deciding that they want my fruit. I'm like, you have babies, eat bugs. They have now decided they want the apricots in the front. The apricots are not ripe yet. I'm thinking about going out and pulling off the apricots, even though they're not all the way ripe. Because the thing is, they don't eat one until it's gone. They peck into one, and then they go over to this one, and then this one. It's really frustrating. So I hope I don't have to do that, but I think I'm going to. All right. So hopefully, maybe putting up some bird boxes in your garden will help long term. Not right now, but that might help long term to bring some birds into your garden to eat them. Maybe study up on what actually eats them and go from there, so you know what size hole to make and all of that. I've made bird boxes, but I don't have any here. It's important the front facing board have enough grip they can actually grip with their little. They're not really called talons when they're little tiny birds. What are they called? I'm gonna call them mini talons, so they can hop in there, and especially in the inside, so they can climb up to get out. That's more important than getting in, right? Because we don't want them to get stuck. But that would be something that would be a really good idea to do. Might not help you this year, but in the following years it will help you. Dawn says, I tasted a perpetual spinach I am growing, and it is beyond nasty. It tastes like the old canned spinach. New parrot veggie. Dawn, did you eat it cooked or not cooked? And what type was it? Because I know spinach in the heat can be really bitter. So it might just be the season that you're growing it in, or it may be the variety. Serena's back. Hi, Serena. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Serena says, did you hear about the bee that was allergic to honey? When it ate some, it got beehives. Oh, good. Vineyard Chicks live music. I don't know about that. Okay, apparently it's going on. No idea what that is. It could also be chickens in the yard, given your humor. Oh boy. Thank you, Verna, for putting the link to Quail and Homesteading Con 2024. I need to get a t-shirt too. I probably should do that soon. They have good t-shirt design this year. Verna, do you know where they're selling t-shirts? Are they selling it off of Kelly's website? Or I'm guessing that's where it's going from. If you have the link, put it, please. If not, we'll look it up. Oh, Verna says she was the first one to sign on QuailCon. Oh, you helped test it out. There you go. There you go. Oh, you were talking about the video uploaded the live 10 hours later. Okay, got it. Serena says, what did the mushroom say when he was turned down for a date? Why don't you want to go out with me? I'm a fun guy. Oh boy. Dawn put the cute parrot on her page. Funny. Dawn says I had a blue jay that barked like a dog and sounded like my doorbell. You know, birds are amazing in their ability to sound like other things, especially the corvid family, which would be the jays and the crows and ravens. Yeah, there's a crow. I think it must have taught its children because it can't be that old. Because I think it's still my parents, and it was there when I was little, so I think it probably taught its children. But it does like the sound that sound? It does that. Sorry guys. Anyway, that sound but louder. It makes that sound and it just does pop 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 pop, and as it flies over, it's pretty funny. But it's the only one that I know does that. Must be teaching its kids too. Yeah. All right. Dawn got down to 56 last night, and it was 64 when you got up this morning. Oh wow! It went down and went back up. It has been. We have a heat wave coming. I say we have a heat wave coming. It was 95 today. Yeah, Bunny's got ice. And the heat wave tomorrow is supposed to be hot, and then this weekend is supposed to be really hot. Excessive heat warning. That's exactly what it says right here. I was just checking on my phone to see. Yeah, it's a huge area. And we see temperatures upper 90s to 110 degrees expected. Limited overnight relief with low temperatures in mid 60s to low 80s. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. And it's a pretty wide area that they're covering, so that's a pretty wide thing as well. Wow. Well, I don't have air conditioning, so it's open windows in the night with fans and close them in the daytime. Make sure. Hey, we're going to get to this anyway. We'll just get to it now. The topic of the day, we have two topics. One is heat and one is fireworks. So, um, with this heat wave, I am giving, well, I'm giving two of the rabbits. The two rabbits in the warmer area of the yard. The other ones I don't give water bottles to until it gets a little bit warmer because they're much more protected because there's tree cover above their cover. It doesn't get nearly as warm there. Um, but they probably will be getting water bottles later this week. And but the two over in the Raviary, they have been getting water bottles, and um, yeah, it's important to either, like some people do, don't give them, and those are the ones you keep, is the ones that are good against heat. That's your choice. Or I choose to put in a water bottle. Um, the ones that work really well for me is the Tropicana, the one that's like this and tall, because they're flat, and so they don't roll them away. So if they push them away, they just push them away a little bit, and it doesn't roll away. Because I put them like next to them, and even if they aren't like cuddling up to it, they just being in the vicinity while it's melting will give them some relief. And yeah, so I like them for that, and I also like them because they've not chewed on them to the extent that they get through the plastic. For some reason, that shape works. So this is not Tropicana, but I wish it was. Yeah. All right. Dawn says the blue jay fell out of a tree naked, so I hand fed it. Yeah, sometimes birds either get kicked out of the nest or they fall out of the nest. Um, and it happens. So if that happens and you can reach where the nest is, putting them back in the nest is fine as long as mom and dad are there. So like if mom and dad have already abandoned them, then no. But if they've fallen out and mom and dad are like, oh my gosh, there's a baby, what are you doing to our baby? You're gonna know that they're still around. They're gonna be chattering, and maybe dive bombing. Um, that you can put them back in the nest and they should be fine. The only time that might not be true is if they are like almost ready for fledging, because they've already learned how to jump out of the nest, and that might be what they continue to do. So anyway, not a wildlife rehab person. I am a wildlife biologist, and I have put birds back in the nests. Yeah. Serena says, which bird is always taking from the rich and give to the poor? Robin Hood. Robin is actually also my favorite, my bird with the favorite scientific name. So it is hilarious because its scientific name is Turdus migratorius. And I just think it's apt for the bird. All right. What two garden vegetables fight crime? Beet man and radish? What? Oh, Batman and Robin. Okay. That was a little far. Horseradish is what you call a sick vegetable. Oh my gosh. All right. Um, hot dogs. Sometimes hot dogs are where it's at, right? Don says, I was using, arnica, comfrey, Epsom salts, and a ton of herbs. It is itching today, so think it is starting to heal. Good. Good. Hopefully it is. And I know when I've sprained ankles before, it has, you feel better and you're able to walk and do things on it within a couple of weeks. It takes, like, I was told by a doctor that it takes 3 months to heal fully from a sprain, and then really could have potential effects later on, depending on how bad the sprain is, because soft tissue heals at a different. It's a harder thing to. It's a not harder. It's a more time takes more time to heal. So, yeah. All right. Sarah Creek says, right, exactly. Building land up for nature to thrive. Exactly. TM says, are you going to be canning any of your peaches? No, I was going to, and with the constraints on my time right now and the amount of peaches that the birds are pecking, it doesn't leave much for me. This one doesn't have very much on it anymore. I did do some freeze drying of the puree. That's a fast way to do it. I'm going fast with fast stuff this year. I do, however, have a video, and I will find it for you here. Choose. Show all. Okay, I have a video that I am sharing here. Canning peaches. And it's actually a really good video, I think, because I tried hot pack and cold pack, and it goes through what to do for both of them, because I show that in both of them. I always recommend the National Center for Home Food Preservation. National Center for Home Food Preservation. And now I have to type that again to put it in here. Center for Home Food Preservation. So I used to can the white peaches, but that is no longer an accepted thing to can. It has something to do with acidity. I don't know why they don't just say add lemon juice. It may be something that you need more acid than that. I don't know. So for the nectar peach, and for its preservation, I am going to be doing the same thing I just did with these peaches, which is make a powder. And with the powder, you can make basically anything except for canned peaches, right? You can, and like, you know, not pizza, like pie stuff. You wouldn't want to do that with the slices, because anyway, with the powder, with the freeze dryer, you can dehydrate them too. It won't have as many nutrients. Won't be as fresh as with the there's a bird out there. Oh, there's a little hummingbird out there. But with the powder, you can make it into like a drink that is lighter than juice. You can reconstitute it as a juice. What I do with the powder is I keep the skin on, because the skin has fiber. A lot of reasons why people don't like, so fruit has a lot of sugar, and we, as at least Americans, and yeah, me too, like sugar and consume things like this. How many oranges is that, guys? So this is a good prop. I didn't know it was going to be a prop. This is probably like 5 or 6 oranges worth of juice, is my guess. That's a lot to have. And the thing is, this one didn't have pulp. When I usually buy juice, this is a different kind. I usually get the Tropicana with pulp. The pulp has the fiber in it. If you get it without the fiber, it's not as good for you. The fiber is something that's really, really good for you, your digestion, for your nutrient uptake, for just fiber needs. And my understanding is it somewhat mediates the amount of sugar. So with the juice that you can reconstitute from freeze drying with the skins, you're going to get that fiber as well. So what I'm doing is I'm making powder, and basically it makes, you can kind of like a Tang mixture, right? Except for it tastes better than Tang. You can make jelly with that, reconstitute it to a jelly consistency, not jelly consistency, a consistency you would use to make jelly. You can use it for ice cream, for yogurt, for Jello, for if you want peach sauce, if you want to do peach barbecue. I mean, you can add it to a lot of things. It's much more versatile as a powder, and it retains the nutrients. And I think that's really, 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 really good. And I'm looking forward to using that actually. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. But if you want to learn how to can, I did put those 2 links there, and they will help you out. I preferred to do the cold pack over the hot pack. It tasted better to me. And then I also tested different levels of the syrups. So you can in water, you can in juice, you can in syrup. So I did a couple different syrup levels. I did very light and light, I think. And the very light, to me, it took away from the sweetness of the actual peach, and it tasted like when you get canned peaches in the store, you know how it has that like it has a weird flavor to it. It had a little bit of that. And then with the light syrup is closer to the natural sugars in the fruit. That one tasted much better. It wasn't too sweet or anything. I don't do the heavy syrups. I don't think there's any need to, but yeah, hopefully that helped. So I'm not going to be canning any peaches this year because this tree's almost done. And the next one to come is one that I should not can, according to the National Center for Home Food Preservation. And I figure since I have another way to preserve that, I should do it that way. I did it that way last year too. I made a bunch of, let's find that video. Let's see, peach. Yeah, nectar peach harvest and freeze drying. Copy. There you are. Freeze drying peaches. Now, there's going to be a video on Thursday talking about freeze drying peaches and making peach powder, but you guys can watch this one too. This is from last year. So if you have a freeze dryer, that's good to do. You can also do fruit roll-ups. Especially if you mix peaches with apple, then it gives a much better consistency. My apple tree is about to be ready. I think I'm going to juice them. I probably will juice them. I was going to do a whole bunch of stuff with the freeze dryer this week, but with the temperatures and it being in the garage, not in the house, it takes too long to do things. I could definitely do it, but it just seems wrong to waste that much electricity to try and make something go through that process right now. So that's on me. All right. Serena says, why were the potatoes fighting? They couldn't see eye to eye. All right. And TM, in the video for Thursday, I do show, I think I moved it towards the beginning. I don't know. Thursday's video has, it's a longer one, so I did put in the, what are they called? The timestamps. So if people want to skip to different parts, they can do that. But I did talk about the pits. And if you are harvesting from your own tree and you have a freestone peach, it may still cling if it's not all the way ripe. Sometimes the peaches don't ripen all the way on one side and they're ripe on the other side. That can still cling a little bit, but anyway, I show you that in the video. Yeah. Dawn says, if you put dimethyl sulfoxide on your skin, it has to be clean and use sterilized gauze because in 1 minute you are tasting garlic in your mouth. Mine is a gel with aloe vera in it. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. Yeah. Would you soil scientists to read to get their news? The compost. Oh boy. Okay. Dawn says they use that for racing horse muscles. It's claws, it's bird claws. Yeah, it could be. New York Times. All right. Dawn says the perpetual spinach is a charred relative, and I ate it raw. Phew, nasty. Okay, Dawn, if you're eating charred relative, um, it might be that it's warm out and that's why it's nasty. So the same thing happens with collards. So like tree collards I have, and I don't eat those in the summer. I only eat those in the winter. So that's something to think about as when is what you're planting good to eat. Yeah, there you go. Dawn says it is grown in AC in the house. Okay. Then I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just nasty. Serena says, did you know that pepper is half peas? Because of the E's? Or half of the peas. Okay, I get it. That took some thinking, Serena. Thank you, Verna, for putting the t-shirt link, Feathered Connections. She also has a YouTube channel, so check her YouTube channel out too. All right. T-shirts. It's not like I didn't post it in all the groups. Steve, we may have people here that are not in all the groups. People could watch this later and go, oh, what is Quail and Homesteading Con? Quail and Homesteading Con is a convention. It's all about quail and other homesteading topics at my Shire Farm. Labor Day weekend, did I get that right? August 31st and September 1st in Miamisburg, Ohio. And it is going to be awesome. Yeah, good point, PJ. I've been busy. He knows that. Oh, look at PJ bragging. Lady, you're bragging. 61 there now? I can't see it anymore. 61 degrees. Wow. Yep. And to think PJ just a week ago, you're complaining about the heat? Exactly. Exactly. Okay, and then Verna put the exact link to the Quail and Homesteading Con t-shirts. Okay. Yeah, so Kelly at Feather Connections, she also has some other really cool quail related and homesteading related t-shirts available. Check her out. Tim says, I had 2 doves that built a nest over my front porch. It got a little messy on the front porch for a little while. Yep, they are not a clean bird. Their nests are clean. I mean, they have. Did you see the little babies? The little babies scoot their butts to the end and go bloop. There you go. Some nests, for some species, the adults actually carry away the baby's poops, and they carry it out of the nest. So that's pretty cool. All right. Serena says, what did the mushroom say when he was turned down for a date? Oh, you already said that one. Fun guy. You put AC in today. PJ, congratulations. I do not have AC and I do not have wall insulation. But when I painted my house to this light blue color called Crisp Morning Air, from the red purpley color, I don't even know what color to call it, it dramatically reduced the amount of heat that came into the house in the summertime. Dramatically. It was amazing. Yep. Verna says, dang fireworks going already. I hate fireworks. Exactly. So that's the other part of our topic is fireworks. So fireworks is something, this is what tomorrow's video is about this, guys. But fireworks have been happening here for a couple weeks now. We get them year round, but really they've been concentrating a couple weeks. And guys, don't do them in dry places. And don't set off the illegal ones because they're illegal for a reason. They can explode and take your hands with them. That happened to a person a couple blocks away from here a few years ago. He got a free helicopter ride. It wasn't free. It was expensive. I'm sure it was. but he got a helicopter ride, both hands. So it's a forever decision. um, I want to encourage you guys. I think everybody on here knows, but maybe some people will watch later. If like, I don't actually have statistics to support this, but I'm going to say it anyway. 4th of July, New Year's, those are a couple of dates in around the calendar that cats and dogs go missing. They run away, they get scared, all that. Bring your animals inside if you can have them inside. If you have your quail, your chicken, my chickens don't care about it, but my quail don't care about it either. But anyway, if you have animals that are not used to these loud booms, give them something to do. That's something to help them. My quail are completely fine with it, but they are kind of continually every once in a while exposed to it here. The chickens could care less about anything. And then the rabbits are generally fine unless it's really, really close. And of course, the baby rabbits are new to everything. So what I do is I give them extra branches to chew on, give them some extra willow, give them, something to do and occupy their time. Because around here, at least, we get these people setting these things off in the daytime too. So it's not just the nighttime; it's the daytime and it's the nighttime. Um, it is what it is. But that's how you can help your animals. And yeah, there we go. Why did the banana go out to the prune? Oh, go out with a prune. It couldn't get a date. Serena. Dawn says, my home care aide left a big box of fireworks in her car today in the sun. We had her bring them in the house. Oh my gosh, Dawn. That is not good. That is not good. Yeah, do not be silly like that. So I do have a playlist. Let's see if I can find it easily. Okay, it's not there. Dashboard, I think is what it's called. Cooking in your car, maybe. Car. Okay, well, anyway, there is a cooking. It has to be a playlist. Anyway, now is the time, I believe, to start cooking in your car. Again, I'm not a health professional or anything like that. It is a giant solar oven dashboard cooking. That's what it's called. There's 3 videos. Okay, I should make more. But it is literally a solar oven. If you point it south and set it up how I set it up, it becomes a solar oven that actually cooks things. Dashboard cooking. Cooking in your car. And now's the time to start doing some of this. I have some tips and tricks that have worked for me. For a long time, I made cookies on the dashboard. That was not regular, but people kind of knew me for it because it was kind of fun to do. I would do it on construction sites, and then it was pretty funny because guys like, you can't cook in your car. What? And I'm like, yeah, we'll have cookies tomorrow, guys. I only had one guy ever say, oh yeah, I used to make biscuits every day. Anyway, so you can cook a lot of things on the dashboard of your car. And with this heat wave, I'm kind of thinking I might get some meat out of the freezer and do that. I've done quail. You can do quail whole. I've done rabbit in parts. I have not done a whole rabbit yet, but I've done rabbits in parts. You'll see that video. I'm thinking about doing some beef. So I do have some, well, it's tri-tip that I cut into basically steaks. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I got to think of what day to do that on. Anyway, I recommend it. Again, I'm not a health professional. You take your own temperatures and all that, but it works. Most delicious way to cook, I think. All right. JJ says, hi all. Sorry so late. That is okay, JJ. You are good. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Brent says, I use soda bottles. I only put them in the cages where there are multiple rabbits. So some soda bottles, I don't drink really soda, but but some soda bottles, they have like these things on the end. And I had one of those in with them and it got chewed. So if it stays frozen, it's not a problem. But when it melts, it, leaks everywhere. So that's not good. But yeah, experiment and see what kind of bottles work for you. And yeah, there you go. Oh no, Dawn. One of hubby's friends lost his whole car to fireworks in the heat. Total loss. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? Hopefully nothing was nearby. What did insurance say? Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't do that. For sure. Um, all right. JJ says blue jays can be mean. It's in the corvid family, and the corvids are very intelligent. Um, and with intelligence of a species, you kind of also have the mean ones. Jam says, I like northern flickers. I do too. They are fun. It's hilarious when they go into an ant mound, though, and get all the ants. They peck down in it, and it gets all dusty. It's fun. They also tried to eat my parents' house, though. My parents have this. My dad got this gigantic wind chime. It's like, it had the tubes are like this big, um, to keep them away from the side of the house, and they finally did. And they didn't try to eat the house. They're pecking holes in it to put things. Yeah. Verna says, I haven't ate a hot dog in a long time. Sometimes it just, it just hits a spot, like a corn dog, especially. Morning doves are number one, then robins. For what? Number one for what? What are they number one in? Verna says, sprains are worse than breaks. At least that is what the doctor told me. They take longer to heal, for sure. I mean, I still have elastic ankles from sprains. Yeah. Oh, TM says I tried to get some northern flickers to nest in my yard, but they never did. Well, they found somewhere else. Gotta improve the habitat, TM. Giving them a box. I think they're cavity nesters. I think. Why don't I know this? I think I know this. When do you sound like a candy bar? When you make Snickers. It's from Serena. All right. Yeah, Dawn says I hear 1 to 4 months on the sprain, and age is another factor. I will get aquatherapy on the ankle next week, and I hope I can work strength back into it. Time is taking on me. Weeks to knee surgery. Absolutely. Absolutely. 6 weeks. Yeah. And that's another thing about sprains is so I sprained my right wrist, when I was little in ballet class doing a cartwheel. That was not the assignment, in case anybody's wondering. And I had been in gymnastics, so I should have known how to do a cartwheel without spraining my wrist. That was my first sprain, though. And that came back several years ago now. I get it adjusted now. It was fine for many, many, many years, and then all of a sudden, it just needed to be starting to be adjusted as a chiropractor because, I don't know, got old. Yeah. When did lobster blush? When it saw the salad dressing. Serena, we need to get you and Eric together in the same room. Eric's not on, I don't think. Absolutely, PJ. PJ says, you got this, Dawn. You are working so hard. She's working incredibly hard. You're gonna yeah, you're killing it. It's awesome. JJ says, we had a finch build a nest in our front light. Now the babies are gone, hubby doesn't want to clean it up because there's so much poo. Finches are not clean. They are good at procreating. Yep. And they do like lights. I have a nest that is done over my garage light which is over the man door, and it yeah, it's a whole stack of twigs that this California scrub jay did. Yeah. Thank you for putting that link there, Verna. Put the peach powder in your bread. Absolutely. That's another thing you can do with it. There's a lot of things you can use for it, and I'm looking forward to doing that. Plus, it's a whole lot less storage space and weight, and yeah, pretty good. A peach cobbler. Now, peach cobbler I think of as chunks. You could freeze dry, um, chunks of peaches. If you freeze dry, you don't have to powder them. You could definitely do a peach cobbler if you can at first. I mean, you can do it fresh too. Don't get me wrong, you do it fresh. But if you can at first, you can use that later in a peach cobbler. Absolutely, absolutely, TM. And you should watch that link that I sent for canning peaches because it's really easy. It's more time consuming than what I can afford right now as far as my time goes. Dawn says, "Oh, there's not much I can do but go backwards until I can walk on it." Well, yeah, but you're doing things. You're moving it around and stuff like that. It's not stagnant, right? So you're keeping your mobility, which is good. JJ says, "I've been eating strawberries, then raspberries, apples, and now apricots like crazy. Whatever is in season. Awesome." My Anna apple, I thought it might have had some ripe the other day, but I was busy, and so I didn't look at it too closely. But Anna apple is going to be ripe here pretty quickly, and I believe the nectar peach is probably a couple of weeks away. Sometimes they ripen really quickly on you, though, so who knows with the raccoons. Hopefully they go away. I'm hoping there's enough time in between this peach tree which is currently fruiting, and then the nectar peach, which will fruit next, for the raccoons to lose interest. That's my hope. I don't know that they will. I don't know how many there are. I think there's more than one, though. All right. Oh, Serena is making the recommendation to JJ to give her husband gloves and a mask so he can get it clean without getting it on him or in his lungs. It's a good idea. Yeah, Dawn says a broken bone heals faster than a sprain. 8 weeks for my leg that broke and got screws. Yeah, I've heard this. So far, I've not broken anything. I've sprained a whole heck of a lot. Let's see, what have I sprained? Both my ankles many times, my wrist, and my thumb. I think that's it. I'm going to knock on some wood here. All right. Verna says you can add the powder to your ice cream if you're making your own or as a topping on store-bought. Yep. Same for yogurt. You didn't think about the mask, but that's important too. It is, JJ, especially with all the things going around with animals. I don't know what's in your area. There's avian influenza, of course, and then also there's some other things that can transmit to people. But I think you have to pretty much just go put your face in it. But yeah, that's good. I mean, that's not good. It's good to take precautions. Yeah. TM says orange juice is good for you when you give blood. Absolutely, absolutely. I learned this, so I'm giving blood next Thursday on the 11th. I'm not prepping all the way back here. The orange juice is good for you. I learned one time when I got I steak and I had lots of milk. For some reason, my brain was on protein. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drink lots of milk, and I'm gonna have was it broccoli? Broccoli has calcium, a lot of calcium in it too. And what the again, not a doctor, not a nurse, but this is me relaying information from a Red Cross blood. I think they're nurses. I don't know what their actually title is. The people who take your blood with the Red Cross, um, and they said that vitamin C helps uptake of iron. It helps uptake of a lot of nutrients. So if you're trying to get more of some nutrient in you, having some vitamin C, like orange juice, is going to help more of that other thing actually get into your system. Whereas calcium steals iron away. And I don't know if it steals other things away as well, but I know it does for iron. So the suggestion is when people are prescribed calcium pills, they are often told to have that right before bed. And I think that makes sense because most people don't eat right before bed, right? Most people have dinner and then they do some things and then they go to bed later. So I think it doesn't interfere with that nutrient uptake. Um, so that's something to think about, if you're anemic or something. Again, not a doctor. Um, is the vitamin C does help uptake of many different vitamins, which is really incredible. Something you don't learn in school. Like why didn't I learn like useful things in health class? Like things like that. Like we need to learn these things. Anyway, there we go. All right. Tim said I made Kool-Aid jelly one time. It was pretty good. Oh, that's funny. Steve's here. Welcome, Steve. Just ask him to hold the ladder, then get scared halfway up. Oh, you're saying for JJ to get scared halfway up? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Hey, Buster. Welcome. Buster says, hey to all. We'll have to rewatch. I'm late. That's okay. You're here now. Welcome. All right. Everybody saying hi. Oh, dip and faint dramatically. Yeah, JJ, I don't think that's gonna work. I don't know your husband. I think I met him, didn't I? Anyway, I don't know him, but I don't think that's gonna work. Serena says, what did one fruit say to the other? If you hadn't been so fresh, we wouldn't be in this jam. True, you do want fresh fruit to go in your jams and jellies and preserves and all of that. The one thing I think that doesn't really apply to that is if you're juicing. If it smells bad, don't do it. If it's just a little bit overripe, it's just going to be a little sweeter. It's not going to ruin the whole thing. Now, if it smells horrible, don't put it in because you're going to ruin the whole thing. All right. Verna says apple chips are great. Apple chips are great. I actually I really like apple sauce. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'll do apple I might do applesauce. I was thinking apple juice, but applesauce is also a very easy thing to make. It's going to depend on what's happening when the tree is ripe, and hopefully I'll be able to harvest most of them at once. But homemade applesauce is really, really great. All you need is apples. you don't you don't need anything else. It's apples and heat, a little bit of water to get it started. Yeah. Yeah. Apple butter. I I have pear butter right now, and I have a lot of it from 2020 that needs to be eaten. Pear butter is used, or I mean, apple butter is used in a very similar way. Apple butter is basically applesauce cooked longer, right, and made smoother. So the thing about applesauce is you can choose the smoothness you want too. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, apple butter is also a good one. I don't know where Eric is, Verna. I don't know. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, JJ, if you make him laugh, maybe he'll do it, huh? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, PJ. Is Serena and Eric already won? I'm offering to introduce them and haven't said anything. They tell them different kinds of jokes, though, so I don't know. I don't know. Who is Serena? Oh, boy, you guys are funny. Dawn says, I love dehydrated apple chips. I have some from 2 years ago still. Awesome. Freeze-dried apple chips are a much different experience. They are so much fresher and like so far, I think the only thing that I like better dehydrated than freeze dried, which I haven't even done freeze dried, is fruit leathers. Because fruit leathers, you need that stretchy, pulley, gooey, not gooey, but um, that kind of texture, which you don't get in the freeze dryer. But everything else, like it's so much better freeze dryer. Making banana chips, um, total different experience. Yeah. All right. Serena says, I have 9 basil plants that are so big, I need to harvest some to make pesto. I've never made it before, and I had 12 basil plants in 1 year. Do I have a video on pesto? Anybody know? Pesto. I've made it. I just don't know if I have a video. I don't know. Let's see. Basil. I just have how to prune it. Interesting. I don't have enough basil to make pesto this year. But here's what you do. You grab your leaves and you put them in a blender or a food processor and you add a little bit of oil. It could be avocado oil or olive oil or whatever oil you want to do. Those are my recommendations is those two. Those are two oils that come from the actual fruit, not from the seeds. I think it tastes better. Sesame oil you can use too. That's from the seed though. And it just needs a little bit. And then add some garlic if you want to roast garlic first. That's really good. Add some garlic. Add some a little bit of salt. If you like a lot of salt, put more. But I would start with a little bit. And pine nuts are traditionally used. You don't have to use it though. And you can add whatever you want. You can add black pepper. You can add whatever you want to make it a different flavor. And then what you do is you can use it like that, or you can freeze the pesto in the freezer. So there's in my mind, there's 3 ways to preserve basil. And you guys can tell me if you think there's other ways. Number one, number one is you can dehydrate it. Dehydrating it vastly reduces the flavor, like tremendously. So I don't recommend that if you have other ways to preserve it because it takes away the flavor so much. Freeze drying it is absolutely wonderful. It's like fresh. I mean, it's not going to reconstitute as fresh, but you can crumble over things. You can make it into a pesto. You can make it into whatever you want, like as far as like sauces and stuff. And it tastes exactly like you when you put it in. Pesto is something that is really, really good. You have to freeze it though to use it, like to store it. And I really like. I have these silicone like ice cube trays. They're like ice cubes. Like I know what I used it in. There's a pineapple video that I show it in. Pineapple. Pineapple, where are you? I'm asking it too many questions at once. Why can't you find pineapple? Oh, because I'm in playlist. There is no playlist called pineapple. There's a video. Let's do pineapple. All right. I'm going to get a link here for you so you can actually see it. So I like to freeze. Let's see. These are silicone containers to freeze pesto, or fruit puree in. And in this particular video, it was pineapple that I did. But I use those containers for, I use those for that. I use them for salsa. I use them for, you can do guacamole, although now since I did guacamole in the freeze dryer, I'm going to continue to do guacamole in the freeze dryer. It's so good. It rehydrates so well. Yeah, but that's how you do it. You just put it all together and blend it up or pulse it. And you might have to add oil. I would say start with less oil, then add more. Same thing with salt. Start with less, add, taste it as you go, turning it off. Yeah. I thought I did do a video on that. Did I not do a video on that? You know what it was? I wonder if it was in the last year. I did do it. Every bit counts. Every bit counts. Which one did I do it in? Oh, I must have done it in this one. Maybe? Maybe. I don't remember what I did. And I didn't put notes, did I? Yes, I did do it in this one. Okay. I lied. So here's basil. How to make pesto. I'm like, I knew I did it. So that is the how to make pesto. You can add peppers. You can add all sorts of stuff. I was trying to think of what I did that in. Sorry for the delay, guys. JJ says, I put old apple chips in water in the smoker. Really makes the meat taste good. Interesting. Also good use for apple skins, especially sour apple skins. You can make, I have some in the freezer. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it, right? You can make apple cider vinegar out of apple peels and cores. I saved some one year and they're still in the freezer. Yeah. Bumblebee makes applewood smoked tuna. I did not know that, but I also don't like to eat tuna. Oh. GW Geen, welcome. Hi, Katrina. How close together can I put bird houses? It depends what kind of bird houses. So, like a bird, if you put them closer together, a bird may be territorial over, a pair may be territorial over more than one. So I would start further and then work your way in. A lot of bird houses that I see out and about, they don't go about. When I'm out and about, is on a stake or a something in the ground. I see one birdhouse on one side and one birdhouse on the other side. They're facing opposite ways, and I have seen birds use them. Now I don't know if this is. I don't know if the birds are related, because for some birds, for some species, one of the female young can actually become a helper to her mom, yeah, for a season. And I don't know, maybe she moves next door. I don't know what the relatedness might be. Tree swallows and bluebirds tend to be okay with being somewhat close, more close, but ones that are further away, or ones that would require being further away, they're going to let you know. So I say you can put up as many as you want. I have seen it on the back side and front side of a post. And again, I don't know the relationship of those birds, if they have one or not. Try it. I don't know that was a good answer. Sorry. But you can do, it depends on what species are in your area. I'm just going to have to say that. And some species are more okay with being around other nesting birds, usually of the same species. But bluebirds and like tree swallows, they do very well, in close proximity. Yeah. All right. Did you know we are all related to each other? Yep. We all have mitochondrial DNA from our female ancestor. Okay. We all related. JJ says, when we couldn't find pectin one year, I dried the apple skins and cooked with fruit in muslin and removed it to use the pectin in the fruit. I ended up with a lot of leftovers. That is so awesome, JJ. Now, I did this last winter, I actually saved and freeze dried and powdered the pineapple guava fruit skins to use as pectin. And I was going to do that this year and try and make, a jellies and jams and stuff and test that this year. And I have not had time to do that. It'll be next year. Next year I'll do it. And so that's really awesome. So apple skins. So there's certain fruits. Again, I will be testing pineapple guavas, which is feijoa. There are known fruits, and particularly in the skins, such as apples and lemons, and also unripe fruit. So if you use unripe fruit, you're going to have a thicker consistency because it's going to have more pectin. And so that's awesome that you actually did that. That's so awesome. You could use fireworks to help scare the birds off. Well, we're trying not to scare birds, right? Right? Verna says, what is bad is that is not good for anyone that has PTSD. Absolutely. Yeah, so we're back on the fireworks. So again, our topic of the day is heat, the safety of your animals in heat and safety of your animals in fireworks. Not in fireworks, but on the upcoming 4th of July, which is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, absolutely. So all the soldiers that fought for your freedom are triggered by those explosions. Absolutely, Verna. And personally, I don't understand why we continue to celebrate that way when we know this, like when it's become apparent that this is it's not good psychologically for those people, but I don't make the rules. JJ says, long ago, Bumblebee used to be the best tuna. Okay. Noise-canceling headphones. That's a good idea. I don't know. Do they make noise-canceling headphones for like dogs that actually fits on their heads and stuff? I wonder if that would help. I know my neighbor, her dog before the dog passed, used to have a thunder vest. So it's like a neoprene vest that it basically is just a little bit more constricting, kind of like a big hug, right? They make those for kids as well. I don't know what's called for kids. I just know they're called thunder vests for dogs. But they make them for kids too with the sensory issues. Yeah. Man, Verna, you're finding all sorts of links. Thank you. Oh no, JJ lost one quail last year during fireworks. I hope now they are used to it, won't freak. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. TM. All I've ever cooked on the dashboard of my car is one time I melted some gum. TM, there's so much more you can do with your dashboard. Watch a couple of those videos and try it. Is my recommendation. And it took me a while to think through in my head that yes, I can actually do meats in the car. There's reasons why you don't leave living things in your car in the heat. And if you're going to put something you're going to eat already processed, already ready to go, it does cook. So yeah. Yeah, dogs can't wear those headphones. That's why I was asking Verna if there was like a dog version. Vibrations are also an issue. Absolutely, Serena. Absolutely. Yeah, JJ says I always worry about fires on the roof when the neighbors let off fireworks. So I do know, hey, if you have a metal roof, that's the best thing, right? Especially if you live in a fire-prone area. When you have a dry situation, my parents still have a neighbor, but where I grew up, the neighbor has a sprinkler on their roof. Of course, they had the wood shake roof still, They had a sprinkler installed on the roof, and they would turn it on in fire season. You know, it would just go on, and kept things a little bit fire safe. Yeah. JJ says bluebirds are like crows. They remember a human face or a cat. So if you're with your cat when it attacks one, they remember and make your life miserable. I've never had that experience. Oh my gosh, JJ. Oh, doves are your favorite birds other than robins. Okay. I wasn't saying robins were my favorite birds. I was saying robins have my favorite scientific name for birds, which is Turdus migratorius, which is great. Steve. Dawn says, I have a weak left ankle with too many sprains. Now I normally sprain it 3 times a year, but this one is really bad. Dawn, I have sprained my ankles multiple times. Here's a silly story. I think I may have told people this before, but when I was in middle school, I sprained my ankle in gym class, running on the gym floor. I told the teacher I had a sprained ankle. I had one before, and she did not believe me. I ended up leaving the class without her permission to go down to the nurse. I had a very sprained ankle. I had to walk home from the bus stop, which is 7/10 of a mile, from the school bus and all of that. And I did not go to school the next day. So it was a bad sprain. Then I walked on it like a lot. And I kept on saying that the floor was warped. And everybody thought, man, she's just making something up. How did she freaking, sprain her ankle on a flat surface, right? Well, 2 years later, that gym floor was ripped up and replaced because it was warped. So I felt very vindicated. I felt very vindicated in that moment, saying, see, I wasn't crazy. I don't want to trip on flat ground. Yeah. All right. Dawn, TM says, Dawn, you may be the $6 million woman when all the surgery's over. Exactly. JJ. All right. What's the hottest soap? Lava? Lava's not a soap. I don't get that as a joke. It is hot. Use your grandma's lye soap. All right. Oh my gosh, was the astronaut cleaning his spaceship with? Comment? Goodness. All right. Oh no. Verna, what's going on? They're still putting off fireworks? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, you're not keeping your mobility, Dawn says. Okay. Sat on your butt with your foot up since Friday. Even the 6 weeks we did PT to strengthen the muscles is reverting. So are you moving it though? That's what I meant by mobility, is moving. Or did she tell you to keep it still? Because I've always been told to move it, but I am not a professional health person. Yeah, JJ says fireworks started a week ago here, and it isn't even the 4th yet. We used to get them a whole lot worse than we do now. It used to just be, I mean, it would be literally 2 months before, 2 months after. That was like 4th of July level, and then 2 months before and 2 months after for the New Year's. And I mean, we get them in the daytime, we get them at nighttime, we get them 2:00 in the morning. I was calling the police constantly, and they didn't do jack about it. Sorry, language there. Everybody was, because it's like we we're in Gilroy, California. We're not in a bomb zone. These are illegal. Start ticketing people. Um, they finally got their act in gear a couple years ago. They got drones up in the sky, and they changed some ordinances, which means that now landowners, not if it's renter, you know, but the landowner is now responsible for fireworks that were put off there. Uh, the police were telling, like, I would call and the police would say, "Oh, well, do you know who did it? We need the name. We need their name." I'm not going to go up and ask someone who's doing that illegally. Like, we would have people come by through the neighborhood, put it on a corner, have it explode, and then leave. And like that's not happening anymore, thank goodness. But it was to that level. It's like it's not my responsibility to go hunting down criminals. So anyway, soft subject there. All right. Don says Thursday walk 60 feet and then nothing since. Okay. Hopefully muscle memory is good. Leg lifts. Absolutely. Absolutely, Steve. Yeah, some mobility. Ask your nurse what mobility you can do because that's going to be very important. Very. Verna. Oh, yeah. It's a fireworks. Yep. Okay, so Serena says my roommate used a noise machine to get our chihuahuas used to loud noises, and when the fireworks started going off, the noise didn't bother them. That's good. So that's another thing. I mean, it's a little late to teach them now, uh, but I've heard people using radios or turn the television on loud, stuff like that, and that works up to a point. Around here, sometimes you have them that it shakes your chest. You feel it in your heart. The windows rattle like, and we're not in the worst part of town. So that is frustrating. Something I have tried to train the animals to is when I'm doing something in their space and like, okay, I'm going to use a grinder, I'm going to use a tacker, I'm going to use whatever. I actually I go, okay, okay, girls. It's usually girls, right? The only boys around here is one rabbit and some of the quail. Okay, girls, it's gonna be loud. It's gonna be loud, and then like I get progressively louder. I don't really want to like scream on here, but that's what I do is I tell them it's gonna get loud, and I progressively get louder when I tell them that, and then I turn on the loud thing. So that's another way to get them used to that. So that's a good point. Um, okay, leg lifts are in UPT. That's good. Non-weight bearing. Oh, Dawn, you will push through. I know you will. I know you're going to do so fabulous with this because you've done so fabulous so far. Yeah. Unless you have to watch your sugar. Oh, is this this? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Dawn says I can't eat fruit or sugar. The only fruit I am supposed to have green apples or strawberries due to Lyme. Really? But you're allergic to strawberries? Oh no. You can have blueberries. So Lyme disease, I know it can cause a whole bunch of neurological issues. I know there's some other issues it cause. I'm not familiar with everything though. I did not realize that you can't have the fruit. Is it the sugar in the fruit or is it something else in the fruit? Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, Serena, the non-emergency police number it's not helpful here. Um, that is yeah, I don't call 911 on people doing fireworks. That's not something you're not going to get a response, especially close to fireworks time, right? They're out on emergency calls, but yeah, there's more police here than there used to be. When I first moved here, I was told there was 3 police officers on duty any given night, which is ridiculous for a city of this size. And now there's more. I don't know how many more, but I know there's more. So yeah. All right. Verna says orange juice is great if your blood sugar drops, but you need to add protein as well. Okay. Okay. So have an orange Julius is what you're saying. So I need my well no that takes out the vitamin C. Wait a minute. Orange Julius cancels out maybe all the goodness of it, right? Am I saying that right? You guys remember Orange Julius? I don't even know if it still exists. It was orange juice and milk smoothies. JJ says I use teasel root tincture and then antibiotics for the Lyme. I know if you get to it pretty much right away, the antibiotics I think work really well, is what I've been told. Um, I mean, those didn't always exist, but yeah. Avoid ticks, guys. They are nasty. Yeah, Verna, same thing. Police don't care. Oh no. Chief of the fire department is setting him off? Verna, that sucks. Wow. Okay, so Serena has a carpal tunnel and uses magnesium arnica cream to relieve the symptoms and reduce swelling. I haven't really used arnica. I know Dawn was talking about that earlier too. I haven't used arnica, but magnesium for in the salt bath definitely works. Oh, frozen blueberries are the best if you can't get them fresh. Yes, they are. Yep. And if you don't have fresh fruit and you want to make jams and jellies and whatever else, you can get frozen fruit or fruit from the store and make it. You don't have to grow it. So that's another truth. All right. No, Serena, I think you live in a different world. I don't know where you live, but you live in a different world than I do for sure. And I think probably for Verna's areas as well. They don't care. They don't and even if they did care, um they don't have the staff to deal with it. So yeah, reporting it is useless. Absolutely. Every year they send out a thing. Actually, I didn't get it in the mail this year. Interesting. Almost every year, except for this year, they send out like a little pamphlet that says, "Oh, please call this fireworks number in case to report illegal fireworks." It's not a fireworks number. I think they call it a hotline. It's not a hotline. It is the non-emergency number for the police department. It is the same non-emergency number as any other non-emergency number. So, yeah. Yep. Um, which fruit is sick? Lime. I love that you felt the need to tell us the the relationship. I think we would have got that. Um, Lyme disease is sickness. Lyme is fruit, great for salsa and pie. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, um, I don't know why you're bringing up Andy Rabbit. That's okay. We like her. She's not here though. I don't know where she is. Serena says, "Wow, that's crazy. Maybe you should write your senator or representative." Serena, it's kind of one of these things that without additional funds and care, it's a lost cause. So be thankful that you live where you live, that people pay attention to things like that. Yeah. Moving out of the backwards area. Did you find a place? Maybe? Hopefully, Verna? Why was the clock scratching? It had ticks? Ticks don't make you scratch. Ticks are invisible to that, at least for a little bit. I don't know actually if you've had it on for a long time, if they do. Coming to Oklahoma. Don says, I've been dealing with this since 2014. Organic apples are coated in APEEL, appeal, and so it pretty well leaves me with just blueberries. Is that the waxy stuff? Is that what it's called? Interesting. If you grow apples, you don't have to coat it with anything. Maybe a little dust, a little bird poop here and there. Washes off pretty easy. Steve says it's hard to deal with people setting off fireworks unless you catch them in the act. Exactly. So says a lot. Yeah, that's exactly that's exactly what they changed here. Is they made it so that if it was on someone's property, that property owner is responsible, which I totally think is fightable in court. But I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, they did start cracking down on it, so it has been better than previous years. Yeah. Dawn says it sure is. That is why we used to buy them to fire back. Oh, we're not going to read that comment. uh, JJ says just eat apples from out of the tree. Don't trust the grocery store. They coat things in weird things. I had jicama at Safeway. Like jicama. Jicama is a root. It goes in the ground. It has like a skin on it that you're not supposed to eat. You're supposed to like carve that off before you eat it, right? Because it's poisonous. And they had wrapped it in wax. Like, why do we need wax on roots? We don't. Yeah. All right. Um, Dawn says, I don't have producing apple trees yet. I have sticks in the ground. Yes, you do, because you planted some. Oh, Verna, sounds lovely. Supposed to get down to 55 tonight. I don't know what's supposed to get down to here. I need to open the windows after the live, though. All right. Yeah, good point. Don't let your husband run him over with a lawnmower, Dawn. That's a good point, JJ. Oh boy. Oh, good, you found a place. Congratulations, Verna. That is awesome. I hope it is exactly the right place for you. That is what I hope. Dawn says, I have 2 apple trees I planted 3 weeks ago. Groundhog dug each tree up 3 times, gassed the groundhog with mothballs, and took him on a trip. My trees have buds. Dawn, that is not a children's book. Oh my gosh. Oh, leaves, not buds or butts. Oh my goodness. 55 sounds great. Absolutely, Buster. Absolutely. Yum pesto, JJ says. I know. Okay, so I had that green stalk, the green stalk in the front that I planted basil and strawberries in, and then I left for a trip and I forgot to tell the person that was watching stuff to water that one, and uh now I have some green stalks with nothing in them. So, yeah, no pesto this year. I have one plant, that one big little basil plant that volunteered last winter or last fall, I guess. That's the only one I have. So, and I don't really feel like going to the store and getting more right now. Yeah. Um, Serena, you're telling jokes over and over again. I've seen a few of them. We already read some. They're good. Oh, Don says he has a wire in the ground around them now too. Planted each tree 3 times. I gave up, and they have leaves coming out. Awesome. 55 degrees, Verna. Um, yeah, they're called gopher baskets, or you can make your own and call them whatever you want. But they're called gopher baskets, and it protects the kind of the root ball from being eaten by gophers, and the roots can grow through that then, and hopefully not get eaten by gophers after that. Um, and JJ says, good wire wrapped around the lawnmower blade is a pain in the behind, so hubby will be careful. No, you're not setting booby traps for him, are you? Yeah. Oh God, chilly last night. Verna, you like live in that coolness, right? Yeah. It's all right. There's fireworks going on where Verna is. She's distracted. We're 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 gonna hopefully distract her the opposite way. Um, Nice to have the cooler weather. Absolutely. You know, it's getting hot here. So yeah. Oh, TM says I wanted to put up a bluebird box trail, but I never did. Do it. Do it. Do it a lot. The bluebird box, they can be fairly close together. I don't know how close exactly, but I've seen them back to back. Trying to think of where I've seen them. I mean, you could do every 50 feet and see what happens. Yeah. The How to Make Pesto link is about green beans. It is actually about multiple things, Serena. I can double check that. But yeah, every bit counts. Week 3, is that what it is? Yeah, it's about a lot of different things, and so there's a thing that a different YouTuber does. I don't think I'm gonna do it this year, but there's a different YouTuber that does every bit counts challenge, and it is the month of I don't remember what month, August. Anyway, I think it's August. The month of August where you preserve something every day. And so what those are is a whole week of what I preserved that week. So it's in there somewhere. It's there. Um, Dawn says to Verna, I'm glad you cooled down finally. Probably love the relief. Absolutely. Yeah, hot days coming up. Yep. A low of 91 tomorrow? Steve, a low? Are you sure? Like it's not going to get cooler than that? Yeah, go somewhere with air conditioning. Maybe a pool. You have an indoor pool nearby with air conditioning. You can eat ice cream. Oh man, tomorrow and Wednesday going to be hot again. Yeah, we have heat all this week, and then this weekend is supposed to be super hot, which is not helpful to things I'm trying to accomplish right now. Did you know cameras overheat when it's hot? Trying to finish up Quail University I was going to this weekend, and actually I should have this weekend because it was cooler than a lot of things coming up. I have not that much left to actually record. Then editing, right? Here we go. This is for raising quail in aviaries. Course coming up. Buster says we are going to be in the upper 90s to 103 this week. Yeah, we're getting up to 110 potentially, which might mean more than that. Which means I need to put more water bottles in the freezer for the bunnies. What vegetables measured like diamonds? Carrot. Yes, that is hot, Verna. You are correct. Verna's mom's day of birth was July 7th. My mom's is the 1st. It's the 4th. All the fireworks are for her. Only the non-annoying ones. She's not on here. I know she's not on here because she's in an airport or on a plane. Yeah. Oh, Don's dad's birthday is the same as my mom's. All right. Man, lots of July birthdays. Lots of July birthdays. Goodness. Oh, TM says I got a craving for fig preserves. I never liked fig preserves. Interesting. I wonder if there's something in it nutritionally that you're missing. Um, I have yet to do anything with figs besides eat them and dehydrate them. That is something I enjoy dehydrated. I have not tried them freeze dried. Did I? I don't think I've done it yet. Tell me if I've done it. Anybody remember? I don't think I've done it. If I did it, I didn't do it in mass. And because I do like that chewiness that it has. Fig Newton type thing. Yeah. But I've never done it as a preserve. JJ says, I'm thinking I'm going to give my quail vitamins, so maybe they will be together to deal with incoming fireworks. Oh, tougher, not together. Yeah, I mean, the Save-A-Chick stuff, you can do apple cider vinegar. You can do not just the whole thing, like a little bit in their water. What are you planning on putting in there? I'm curious, because that can help them out. Help them out with a little bit of a extra boost for stress relief. Okay, Thundervest does not help Lucy, Verna says. Okay. Yeah, I know they can help some dogs. Not some dogs, yeah. PJ says my grandson will be July 9. Unless he surprises you early. Absolutely. All right. Dawn says fireworks didn't bother my quail except for the very first time they heard them. Yeah, the quail are strange. They don't get bothered by the fireworks, but again, I think that's an exposure thing. The things that bother them, that they literally like the whole thing freezes. Like every single one of them freezes, and their eyes like they freeze, and then their eyes look up. Blimps, when a blimp flies nearby or over, they will freeze until they don't hear it anymore. Um, and if a jay or a crow flies over making sound, they will freeze like that. And there's one sort of prop plane. I don't know which one it is. I know the sound, but I don't really know what it looks like. That they really don't like, and they do the same thing. But for other like helicopters don't bother them. Other planes don't bother them. Other birds don't bother them. It's kind of funny. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I've made cookies on my dashboard. That is in that playlist. Absolutely. And making cookies on your dashboard, like if you're out all day and coming into your car and then driving home with a car that smells like fresh baked cookies, it's the best. And the thing about making cookies on the dashboard, you will never burn them. They will never get burnt. They will just get more crispy. When you make cookies or other baked goods on your dashboard, because it is a lower heat than you would normally, like you would usually do, like 325, 350 in the oven, it's not going to get that hot on your dash. It's a lower temperature. It's lower and slower, so the fats will melt first, and it'll end up being a flatter cookie. So it does have a little bit different chemistry, but it's still a cookie and it still tastes good. Come on. There we go. And if you do that, also because the fats melt first, use a cookie. What's it called? A cookie sheet. Use a cookie sheet that has edges. Otherwise, it might go off onto your car. Um, how far can a dog run into the woods? He can only go halfway? Oh, because then he'd be running out. Man, you're getting too creative with that. Those are thinkers. The country does a cook use grease. Yeah, JJ says I like robins because they are bold and approach you once they get used to being around, and will follow you when you turn the soil, making me laugh. Yeah, there's one again. They probably taught it to their babies, but well, the tree's no longer there. But there used to be a tree outside my parents' bedroom that the robins would nest in every year, and every year every morning when it was nesting season, the bird would fly up to the top of the tree, swoop down, crash into the window, fall to the ground. Go up to the tree, go into the window, fall down, over and over again. We named him Bumper. My brother and I named him Bumper. Her, it might be a her. I don't know if it's a he or her. Don't remember. And we tried to figure that one out. We figured, oh, well, it might be the reflection. There was a mirror on the other side of the wall. Oh, well, let's take that down. Nope. Oh, it might be a reflection of the window. So we tried putting up a poster of a cat on the outside of the window. Nope. I think it was trying to move the house, honestly. Like, it was very odd. Very odd. Very odd. Um, anyway, robins are fun. I remember that hearing them growing up. Like, that's my memory because I grew up in Central Oregon and there's lots of robins there, especially in nesting season. All right. Don says there are 3 degrees of sprains, with the third degree requires surgery to sew muscles together. Okay, that to me doesn't sound like a sprain. That would sound like a muscle tear. Yeah. Um. Yeah, Serena. Okay. A bar of lava soap? I don't know what lava soap is. A lava is a brand of soap? we use to get grease off. See, I'm missing joke. It's okay. It's okay. They still make it? Okay. I didn't know anything about it. Oh, Dawn says I have to keep the foot still, but I can and do move the toes as tolerated. If I lower the foot, the muscle on the back goes into spasms. You can touch your toes to the floor now. It's good. 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 Okay. There was a lot of rebels with fireworks during lockdown. It was a crazy time. Yeah, I don't understand how they get them. If they're illegal here, where are they getting them from? I know they get them from other states and stuff, but like I don't know, especially California, like there's checkpoints for it's for ag stuff for plants and fruits and things, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how so many can get them and then be illegal, But I'm not in that scene. JJ says the military helicopters shake my windows, and yes, I do report them. Yeah. Oh, last time you're told is boys fooling around. Yeah, that's not good. Probably even better if you can get binoculars out there and look at the number, because then they know exactly who it is. They can look that up. Yeah. Okay, Dawn says it's the sugar in the fruit feeds the lime in the body. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. JJ says, yeah, small towns and cities, you have to call sheriff or state police if you want any help. And they don't have enough staff to respond, though. And sheriff doesn't cover cities, right? I mean, they only respond. I think the sheriffs only respond if the police ask them to. That's my opinion. I don't know that as fact. Yeah. Teasel root tincture chases lime out of organs and cells and into bloodstream. Antibiotics kills lime in the bloodstream. Interesting, JJ. Interesting. Hello, Andy Rabbit. Hello. How is everyone doing today? It's doing good. You guys are on here. We're good now. You're here. All right. Welcome, welcome. Don says, I have an arnica gel that feels like putting ice on it. Okay. Wonderful, but does nothing for bruising, which is what it is used for. I put away and comfrey. Okay, because the other thing is there tomorrow. Okay. You go for leeches. Oh. Arnica you can grow too, I believe. Let me see if it's what I think it is before I say anything else. Arnica plant. Yeah, you can grow that. Mm-hmm. Oh, Dawn says, Andy Rabbit, hey, you made it just in time for me to get off and go do what what piddly PT I can do. Get it done, Dawn. I have faith you will be doing great soon. You'll be doing great soon. Oh my gosh, PJ picked a few blueberries, a few black currants, and service berries I was talking about previously. Started my freezer bag for a pie. That sounds wonderful. That sounds wonderful. Hi, Andy Rabbit. Okay, I am guessing by now Dawn is probably long gone because that was at 7:32 and it is 7:52 now. My goodness, you guys are talkative tonight. That's good. Cool down. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It might make some people happy to call the police on people shooting off fireworks. It's not that it makes you happy, it's that that's the only thing you can do. I've stopped doing it, but it's something I could do to get them to stop. Because those are the type of people you don't want to approach. Yeah. Oh. Apeel is a poison and will not watch off. I need to look that up more. Um, because I see no need to stay fresher longer, and I don't think so. I see no need to do that to produce. If it's not fresh, it should be processed in such a way that it can be eaten not fresh, like canned or frozen. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Goodness, you guys are violent. Oh, Verna says I have a lot of sage to harvest. Verna, I have a lot of sage to harvest. I just haven't done it. And I wanted to freeze dry it, but then I'm not planning on using the freeze dryer. I wonder if sage would freeze dry fast enough that if I put it in like in the afternoon, if it would be done by morning. What do you guys think? Experienced sage freeze dryers. I wanted to freeze dry it because it just is like a sage is also just something that it tastes better fresh than dried. Yeah, yeah. Okay, JJ says she learned that potato starch cools off very bad burns. Do you make a paste out of it, or do you use it just as a starch? JJ says that your basil is actually sage. Probably, probably. Yeah, a little bit of fuzz. Oh my gosh. Oh, potato starch will also help pull out splinters, Runa says. All right. Yeah, but the sage would taste good on quail and rabbit. Absolutely. Absolutely. It tastes good on everything. Yeah, there's a garlic soup that I should go there more. There's a place in Gilroy called Garlic City Cafe. They are slow as heck, but their food is amazing. And they have an absolutely wonderful garlic soup. It's a cream soup, and I really want to figure out their recipe because it's so good. I know sage is one of the ingredients. They have a lot of sage in it. I know that's one of the ingredients, but I got to go back and like pay attention to what I'm tasting and see if I can recreate it. It's kind of fun to do that, but it has a lot of ingredients, I think. Anyway, it's very good. Um, Sage breakfast gravy. Mm. I have had like biscuits and gravy so many times, and like there's some that are just not good, and it's very disappointing. Like when you're like, I'm going to order this very fattening meal because it is the thing I'm doing today. This is my treat, or this is whatever, and then it's just not what you wanted. I need to learn how to make it, but then if I learn how to make it, then you might have it too often, right? It's kind of that thing that's a treat because it's a treat. Yeah. Anyway, should have black pepper in it for sure. But I don't know about sage breakfast gravy. Is that the same thing but with sage in it? Andy says, I probably won't have any to put up this year. I didn't plant anything because I was going to be gone so long. All right. What is the oldest and wisest herb? Sage. Gives sage advice too. Uh, Verna says, yes, take a raw potato, grate it, put the mess on a band-aid. Oh, the grate. Okay, the gratings. And plaster it where the splinter is. It will draw it out. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. You can use that recipe on a bee sting. I don't know. It's a recipe. I guess it's a recipe. Grate and go. That's what we should call it. Oh, you could sell potato. You could sell one potato with a little grater, and have it be like a cure thing, and you could call it grate and go. If you do that, I get a royalty. Um, I haven't freeze-dried figs. Thank you, Verna, for knowing everything I've done. I say that somewhat sarcastically, but you do. You know the stuff that like I've done at least what I show you guys. I haven't done a video on it at least. I don't think I have. I think I was going to, and I just decided to eat them. Like there's just a few of them. I was like, oh, I should do this, and I didn't. You're funny. Oh no, Andy got stung by a bee yesterday morning on your big toe. Hopefully it's better now. Sting operations. Oh my gosh, Serena. What law enforcement operations do bees, wasps, or hornets take part in and conduct? Sting operations. Yeah, don't kick bees. Good point, Verna. Oh, so JJ says do not dehydrate raspberries without cooking first. The seed turns to rock. So that's something that I wasn't wondering about that in particular, but it solves something that was a assumption I had. You say that? And that was but the potential to freeze dry blackberries. And I didn't think it would work because of the hardness of the seed. But you're saying if it's cooked, that seed does the seed open when it's cooked or does it just get soft? I'm curious about that. Like does it break the coat and like actually open it so it can be dehydrated? I don't know if you know the answer, but yeah. Oh, Buster had a question to Verna. Will you get to keep your rabbits when you move? Hopefully, hopefully. Serena says, why did a little bee have to be disciplined? He wouldn't behave. Oh, good, 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 Verna. You can have your rabbit and you can start the quail again. Awesome. Is there more rooms that you could do that room, or is there like a better filtration system for the quail? Yeah. You think your shoe scooped it into it? Oh, and you watch where you walk. Okay, JJ says hawks scare the daylights out of the quail. We hardly ever have hawks in the neighborhood. When we do, it's a Cooper's hawk, and I've only seen it a few times. Um, they would likely not be able to see it in most cases, but they could hear it. Um, or maybe most likely hear the other birds scolding it. Um, that makes sense, though. That makes sense because that's a predator. What is oldest fruit? Adam's apple. Jeez. Uh, yes, I agree, Buster. Buster says, Verna, that makes me happy for you. Congratulations. Absolutely. I'm excited for you, Verna. I'm excited that you don't have to go too far, but you're going far enough to get away from situations and people. Yeah. All right. Tim says, I have some chicken bones to dry out and make bone meal out of, or at least try to make bone meal for the garden. I might put the bones in my dehydrator tonight. TM, do you have a pressure cooker? Because if you have a pressure cooker, you can actually pressure cook the bones and they will be squishy. So what I do is I do a bone broth, and the bone broth I run it through twice. So I do 3 hours, um, and then I empty that water, and then I put in more water. So I put water and a splash of apple cider vinegar, and the apple cider vinegar takes out more minerals out of the bone, and so it gets that into the soup, into the broth. And so, dump that into a container to save it, and then put more water just to cover the bones. Do it again for another 3 hours, and then dump that into a container, strain out the bones. And by that time, the bones you should be able to squish it with your hands, and you should be able to either squish it with your hands or put it in a blender or a food processor or something like that. And that's how I would do it if you're looking for basically calcium. If you're not looking to get the minerals out and you're just looking to maybe keep the minerals in them to keep them in the soil, to put and mineralize the soil, I wouldn't put the apple cider vinegar in. But yeah, running that through twice in a pressure cooker. You can also just cook the heck out of them on the stove, but that's going to take, a couple days to do. So if you have a pressure cooker, that's a good way to use it. Yeah. Good night, Dawn. You're probably long gone. Good night. Um, Oh, JJ says now I want chocolate chip cookies, but I ain't cooking them in the car. Why not? Why not? Oh my gosh. Um, Serena, she is going to stay in Ohio. She's staying in Ohio. I'm guessing you're in Oklahoma. I'm guessing that's why you're asking that. Yeah, she's staying in Ohio. But I'm glad you found a spot. Exactly, Andy Rabbit. Exactly what I was just saying. TM, if you pressure cook them, you can powder them with your hands. Yep. Or feed them back to your birds, which is what I do. All right. Steve says I gotta draw a 90-mile circle around Miamisburg to figure it out. Oh boy. Didn't she say 1.5 miles, not 1.5 hours? Maybe I'm not gonna go up and reread it because it was way up there. But yeah, maybe I thought she said miles, but maybe she said hours. Oh boy, moving west. All right. She's gonna surprise us. It's good. We like surprises that are good. I'm just glad you found a spot, and you can have animals. JJ says all air vehicles are tracked. They knew who it was. Oh, that's true. That's true. Huh? Especially if it's like military or something. That's true. They can respond to private properties in cities. I'm sure they can, but I don't know. They're all understaffed. Yeah. Um. Yeah, Buster said to Verna, I'm glad you get to keep your animals and raise garden. Absolutely. Um. Oh, Andy Rabbit says it's because people were home and did some deep cleaning and came across old fireworks way back in the closet and just had to set them off. Okay. Okay. Well, I hope people aren't storing fireworks in their closet that they don't know about. All right. Arnica is a weed that gets big and prickly. Yeah, it's really sunflowers. That's what I thought, and I saw that when I looked up the picture. Yeah, state police can respond if there's a problem with city or county police. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, there's good things coming from Verna. That's good. Okay, Steve says typically herbs will take between 12 and 24 hours to freeze dry. I might try and do that. That's from frozen or that's from fresh? I might try and do that for pre-freeze them and then put them in. Yeah. Serena says arnica helps relieve nerve swelling and pain. That makes sense. May have to be sure you put not only the oxygen absorber but also water absorber as well. Yeah, if it's in a jar, I need to get some of the moisture absorbers for the jars once I put things into a jar. Um, what I'd like to know actually is if anybody's come across mylar bags that are good mylar bags, they're thick, you can't see through them, that are smaller for like smaller serving sizes of things. I just feel like sometimes I have these big bags, they're that big, and I feel like I should be able to cut it in half and use it a different way. Um, Anybody know about smaller ones that isn't just like on Amazon? It's actually from a place we know that'll be consistent. JJ says either put cut potato on the burn. I have heard that actually. Or better yet, make a paste from the starch and put it on the burn. Okay. Then have hash browns. Aloe vera works great on burns too. It also on mosquito bites. Thank you, Serena, for reminding me. I need to do a video on aloe vera harvesting. Don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it soon because it is a good thing to have and grows most places as long as it doesn't freeze. You can even bring it inside, right? Grow it in a container, bring it inside. It's a really good plant to have. And yeah, with a fine grater, you grate the potato with a fine grater. Yep. Okay. Okay. So JJ's saying sausage gravy with sage sausage, or just add sausage to the gravy. Oh, that's another idea. That's another idea, is to crumble up the sage, the freeze-dried sage, or you don't have to be freeze-dried, but crumble up sage and make sausage with that. Verna, weren't you going to make rabbit sausage? Did that ever happen? I don't know if that ever happened. My meat grinder came with the kit to do the sausage stuff too. I mean, it doesn't have to be in links. It could just be ground up, as a sausage. But I have not done that yet. I've ground beef. I haven't actually ground rabbit or anything yet, other than beef. All right. TM says, I like good, and I mean really good, biscuits. Ooh, I have a recipe. I wonder if I know where it is. There's a recipe for biscuits that are made in a cast iron skillet, and you put it in the oven in the cast iron skillet, and it has vegetables mixed in with it, and sharp cheddar cheese. It's really good. I should bust out that recipe sometime. Came out of a magazine. What do pigs medicate their wounds with? Ointment. 1 cent per sale. Rona, I don't know what you're talking about. It's been too long, I think. TM says I might try to do it with a mortar and pestle. Make biscuits or do something else? I'm lost. Man, we've switched topics too many times. Versus back when it was mandatory to wear a dress to school. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I did not live in that time. I got stung on my belly button by a bee. Missed school that day. Absolutely, you missed school that day. That sucks. Andy says, TM, I haven't found that really good biscuits yet, so I've given up on trying to find one. I have a really good recipe, and it is delicious, but it's not just biscuits. I'm sure you could make it with just biscuits. It's not just biscuits, and it has vegetables in it, and like you can shred them or you can cut them up small, and it has the sharp cheddar, which is really good. All right. In a pinch, your recipe is perfect because in USA it's hard to find potato starch unless you make it yourself. That's true. That's true. What does a bee groom his hair with? Honeycomb. Honeydew list. I've heard that. Okay. I'm making Verna laugh, Serena. All right. Add vinegar or lemon to the water for bone broth, and bones will fall apart. Yep, that takes the minerals out of it, and probably structure, I would imagine. But I do it mostly to basically get the minerals to me from the bone broth. Yeah. Yeah, so TM says, I have boiled them. You're supposed to boil them or simmer them for about 12 hours or more. Or more is the answer to that, TM. Pressure cooker, you can do a whole lot faster with a pressure cooker. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably closer to 24 to 48 hours. I mean, you can stop it and start it again. I do not recommend having stuff on your stove overnight, although I have done it. Yeah. The sun will dry them pretty fast. Yeah, I don't think the issue is to dry. I think it needs well, I guess after it's powdered, maybe, right? What I would do is, if you're looking to actually do bone meal, is once I would do pressure cooking, but if you choose to do boiling, that would work too. Just has to be longer. Once you can squish it with your hands, like I can squish a rabbit bone like by going like this, the leg bone, big bones, and once you can do that, I would put it into a blender with a little bit of water so you can really get it basically powdered, but it's going to be wet when it comes out. It's going to be wet there. And then what I would do then is put it on coffee filters or like the blue paper towel, something that's not going to stick to it, and do it that way. Yeah. 1.5 hours. Okay, I misread that, Verna. I misread that. But hey, better area. You say it's a better area. That is awesome. Good. Good, good. Tim, you can do it again. You can get more out of it than just one round. You can go again. Yeah, it's not required, but you can do it again if you want. Yeah, and you might need the minerals for the garden. Okay. Got them on the. Oh, you're already drying them. Okay. That is good. Let us know how that turns out, TM. Don't break your blender. Okay, got it. Got it, Vernon. Why can't you cut them and use the smaller, just heat seal them the size you want? That is true. You can do that. I tried doing that to the Harvest Right Harvest Right bags, and the seal did not stay. I think because I didn't make the bags first. I think it was because I put stuff in, then cut it, then tried to seal it, and probably had like powder on it or something. I could do that, but it doesn't have like the label and stuff. Poor excuse, right? You can put a label on it, you can write wherever. But I'm just curious if there's something smaller, because the other thing I do like is the ones that have the gusseted bottom, and you don't get a gusseted bottom on two of them, right? You get one flat and one gusseted. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious. Those are for the Mylar bags. Can you reuse the bags? Just cut them down. I don't really know, TM says. Yeah, you can reuse the bags. The bags I currently have, I have some from Harvest Right that are not gusseted, and I don't believe they sell gusseted ones. And then I have some from Freeze Drying Supplies, and Freeze Drying Supplies ones, they have like a hole in the top for putting it on like a shelf, and I don't like that because I would rather seal it up higher. And it has a zipper, which I do like the zipper for the larger ones. I don't think you'd need it for the smaller ones, although who knows. But it has the zip top, but like where I have to heat seal it is below where the tear thing is. Like they're designed a little bit weirdly. Like it obviously works for a lot of people. They're relatively big company, I believe. It just is weird, and I like to have the gusseted part of that. Anyway, I'm being particular. I don't need to be particular, but I just want to know what's out there. And yeah, you would probably wash them, and then they would have to be very, 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 very dry before you use them again, because water introduced to that system means it's not actually going to be preserved. Potato chips are in Mylar. They are in Mylar, but the Mylar potato chips are in is not nearly as thick as the ones for freeze drying, like for longer term stuff. And I don't know how much that matters if it's like within a couple years. Yeah. All right, Verna's making me go back over to YouTube. I'm on StreamYard. Okay. I don't care if it says pineapple. View. Okay. Let's save that for later. And those ones are thick, Verna? They're actually thick, like you can't see through them. Thank you for the link. The rabbit sausage has to wait until the fall. That makes sense. All right, we will see you later. Steve, have a good night. Oh my gosh, it's way after 8. Okay. Your commission on the great and go idea? Okay. It was 1 cent. Well, how much you selling your potato for? Got it. Got it. Yes, cornbread in a cast iron skillet in the oven is awesome. Exactly, TM. Steak made in a you do the stovetop parts first and then you put it in the oven. That's good too. Yep. All right. Okay. Freeze dry, make it easier. Yep. Andy says the second cook of the bones seems to be where I get the most gel from. Interesting. I have not paid attention to that because I've always kind of mixed it. Not always. I think I have done it not mixed, but that's interesting. The second one time through is always lighter for me, and lighter in color and in flavor. But it might be where you get extra gel. Girls are fed. Okay, you already fed them, huh? That was quick. Welcome back. All right. Only 3 cages. Yeah, they're pretty fast to do that. You agree about the bags. Thank you, Verna. Thank you. You know, I went into a long conversation at the Verizon store because I'm switching from AT&T for Verizon soon, and about pockets. It was a lady. I don't even know how we got on the topic, but women's pockets. We need a company that makes actual clothes for actual women who want to actually use their pockets. The end. I'm not talking about it anymore today. Andy says no, potato chip bags are not as thick, but in a pinch they'll do better than nothing. Right. That makes sense. Oh, good point, Steve. I don't think you'd ever get grease out of the potato chip bag. That is a point. Yeah. What moisture absorbers do you use for freeze-dried food? Yeah, I haven't used those yet. And I think most moisture absorbers are going to be good. I think you just have to make sure that they you haven't the size is good for what you're using. I somewhat researched this online by research, like read a bunch of stuff online, and there are some that are like rechargeable. I don't remember exactly what you do. If you put it in a microwave or something, it dries them out, and then you can put them back in. But I don't remember what exactly was in those. Yeah, silica packets are generally, but I think it's all pretty much the same. Okay, the second cook is always lighter for you too. All right, Andy. Brenda says, that's why I wear men's pants. I need pockets. I buy men's cargo pants. You know what, though? Men's pants don't have butts. That's my only complaint. My field pants, thus far, are men's pants. That's the other thing. They think that women want to have. I don't know. Are ankles sexy again? Is this what's going on? Every single pair of pants are capris in the store. I went to Ross the other day just thinking I can get, some jeans. And there was one pair of pants there that fit me and were long enough for me. I'm like, really? One pair? So, I mean, it was Ross too, but hey. All right, Steve says silica packets from Dry and Dry is one of the best. Also reusable. Dry and Dry. Dry and Dry. All right. That is now open on my computer. Thank you, Mr. Steve. You didn't remember the name? It's a really hard one to remember, Verna. Keep things dry. No, I get it. I get it. I'm just teasing. Um, Andy says you have to turn the bags inside out and wash them like you would dishes, then the drip dry. Okay. There you go. All right. Can you put freeze-dried foot in jars? I'm going to guess that really was supposed to be food. because I don't know what feet you're freeze drying. I'm not going to comment on that one. Yes, you can put freeze dried food in jars. The dangers to any stored preserved food are light, heat, and moisture. That goes for any food you store. Heat, light, and moisture are the enemy of your stored food. So if you don't have the moisture because it's sealed, as long as your jar is sealed, right? You can vacuum seal those quite well. That's not an issue. Oh, and oxygen for oxygen. So if you can vacuum seal them if you're using it every now and then, you don't necessarily need an oxygen absorber, but sealing them and so that you take out the air essentially is a good idea. um so heat is, if it's in a hot area, it's not going to last as long. Nutrients are going to start breaking down if it's in a hotter area. Moisture should not be getting in. That's why I was asking about the moisture, the moisture absorbers, um for basically when you open your freeze dried food, if you're going to use it over time, I would keep it in, ideally, I would keep it in a jar in dark and put a moisture absorber in there so it doesn't clump. Um, and then light. So there are a lot of, not a lot of, I've seen it. I don't know what it means it's a lot. It does exist. There are people who make, and I have no idea if they're affordable or not, um, but they make sleeves to put over canning jars, and it's specifically for freeze drying food, or actually for canned food as well, because the same is true for canned food and light. Um, but your food will change color if it has too much light. And I actually had this happen with the tomatoes that I did last year. I freeze dried some and then just put them in a jar, and most of it was kind of not in the light, and then one of them was more in the light. And it's kind of funny because even in the same jar, the where the light was, that part is lighter and the other side is darker. So um so yes, you can put it in jars, but remember those four things for preserving food and you'll do good. I should probably do a video on that, huh? Let's see if I can write that down. 4 things to keep preserved food fresh. I'll make a good little video. All right. Yeah, I hope it was supposed to be food, TM. I figured it out. I'm smart enough. Brenda says, I have cheese powder in a jar for over a year and it is good. Good. Good, good. All right, moisture absorbers. Gotta go back over to. Gotta go back over. Thank you, Stephen Verna. Yeah, that's the one I saw before. There's also ones that are like really big for totes and stuff that I saw. It was a different brand. It had like material on the outside. I don't know if I need it or not, but I thought it was interesting. So yeah. Andy Rose says last year it's really been a year since you got your freeze dryer already. Absolutely. Yeah, I was freeze drying peaches last year. I don't remember what month it was. It was but yeah, the freeze dryer came, it's been over a year. Let's see when I did my freeze dry video. Freeze dry. Okay, show off. Oh, May 21. I posted the unboxing. So yeah, just over a year. Yep. Yeah, and Berna got hers before me. JJ says I have to put tomato powder in small jars because the humidity gets inside when used, then the powder gets sticky. So that's exactly why I was thinking of the moisture absorber, and then also to seal those jars again. So I have, you guys have seen it. You can connect it up to a vacuum, but you can also just use the brake bleeder, which is what I have done. and it's easy enough to do. And so let's see, dry goods. There we go. Here's a video on that. I'm just giving you guys all sorts of videos, right? How to store dry goods. I don't know if I talked about all the 4 different things in that one or not, but yeah. Yep, Verna did freeze-dried candy for the last 2 QuailCons. Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't been. I was vocal about it for a while, and then I did a whole span of time where I didn't do anything with it. I was just I've been busy, and I know that's a bad excuse because it's a wonderful wonderful tool, but yeah. Um, Camera, a rabbit TV device they used to watch on TV. Oh, okay. Um, you have a camera in the rabbit yard. That's great, Andy. TM says they got little bags of freeze-dried food at Dollar Tree. I want to try them. Try them out. Try them out. I will say, I have had some freeze-dried food. Um, well, most of the things I've freeze-dried have been ingredients. They've not been full meals. Some of it has been, but most of it has been ingredients. And the freeze-dried fruit that I've tried in stores, I think they probably dehydrate it first or something because it doesn't look the same and it doesn't taste the same. So like they do something different than the home freeze-dried. And then like I've had Mountain House before, like Mountain House for backpacking. The Mountain House is a brand of freeze-dried backpacking food. And I've had that before. I have not experimented much with like cooked meals freeze dried and then reconstituting them. So I don't know about that, but I've heard that it's much better when you do it yourself, less salt and all that too. Mountain House had so much salt in it. Yeah. I know what rabbit ears are, Steve. All right. Okay. Oh, Serena wants to know what freeze-dried food is. We've been talking about this. Freeze-dried food is it's a type of preserving that is done in a particular device. That if it's a home device, they are quite expensive. Harvest Right is the one I have. That's the one Berna has. Steve has Harvest Right as well. My understanding is there's 2 different companies, and that was the original one in the United States that's open for public to buy them. I don't even remember the name of the other one. I think it was in California though. And it's been something that people do. You might call it astronaut food. If you have ice cream sandwiches, astronaut ice cream sandwiches, it's a freeze-dried product. And what it does is, so the result is most of the food that can be freeze-dried, it can be eaten with nearly the same nutrients as when you put it in 25 years later. So it's a way to preserve time-wise, and it's a way to preserve for snacks and for like the banana chips I was talking about. That's not something I need to save for 25 years. That's snacks. People are in love with the candies. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can freeze dry things that you can't can, such as soups with milk products or rice or all the things that you can't put in a jar and actually can it, you can do in the freeze dryer. Now, some exceptions are high sugar things and high fat things. So those are 2 categories that don't really do so well. Now people do candy. That's a separate thing. It's not long term. And it's not very much moisture anyway. So what is it? It freezes the food to a super, super, super low temperature, like super low. And then a vacuum pump comes on and it vacuums out the moisture as it, let's see, as the temperature comes up in the unit. The moisture in the food goes directly from frozen to gas. And so that vacuum pulls that moisture out and it goes to the side of the drum inside, and that then condenses on the sides and becomes ice on the sides. So remember I talked about moisture being one of the things that hinders food preservation. So at the end of this cycle, your food in there has no moisture. So if it does not have moisture, it one cannot support things like what is it called? Botulism. So botulism is always in a wet environment. It cannot support things like botulism. Um, and it cannot support some of these other things. So it then becomes something safe to store. Now, people treat raw eggs the same as raw eggs, cook it and all that. There's certain ways to freeze dry certain things that to get a better result. Some things just don't freeze dry well. Some things freeze dry really well for a snack and not necessarily for reconstitution. So that's been interesting to look at. But that's how it works. It takes it down to a super low temperature and takes that moisture inside the food and from a solid turns it into a gas with that vacuum pump and sends that moisture to the edges away from where the food is. And then you when you bag that up, you bag it up with a oxygen absorber. So we talked about moisture. That's the oxygen. Number 3 would be light, right? So light would be, that's why I'm asking about mylar bags that you can't see through. So it's dark. And then the 4th one is heat. So they should not be they should not be in a warm environment, because the warmer the environment it's in, sorry, my neighbor just walked up to the door and I think she's coming in. Hi, I'm anyway, Linda, I'm gonna text her. She's not answering me. Okay, Linda is a great neighbor of mine. Okay, I said give me a few minutes. So that's how that freeze drying process works, and the result is because you're avoiding all 4, potentially all 3, the heat is something that comes and goes. Because you're avoiding all 4 of those things, you have a product at the end that can be preserved for a very long time. Yeah, did I explain that right? All right. Freeze-dried food. Oh, okay. Yes. So Verna freeze dries leftovers so you don't get sick of the food. That is a good idea. How will elect your food and what? Oh, the foot? Oh my goodness. Moon rocks. Okay. I don't know what moon rocks are. I've heard of pop rocks. Yeah. Oh, I don't need to know any more about that, Steve. Family friendly, guys. JJ says, is it good to put silver into your water source? I know nothing about that. I do know silver is a heavy metal and too much of it is bad. That's what I know. Silver can be used to purify water. I don't know how that works. I do know that you can have too much silver, just like any heavy metal. Just like any heavy metal you need. I don't know how much you need, but yeah. I gotta see what my neighbor said. Okay. She says take the dog for a walk. I wonder if she got a dog. Her doggie passed away recently, or in a few months. I don't know if she's dog sitting or she has a dog. Anyway, Steve says that was a very long explanation of what the FD stood for in freeze-dried food. Steve, sorry. Hopefully it was a good one. Yes, freeze-dried banana chips are different and tastier as well as healthier. I agree with Verna. Yep. You don't need a freeze dryer. You don't need it. It's good. It's fun. Yeah. You can buy edible gold, and gold is a heavy metal. That is correct, Verna. I would not eat a whole lot of it. Wouldn't eat any of it, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, you don't need a freeze dryer. You can do a lot of things. It won't save all the nutrition, and it won't be as it won't save as long to dehydrate, but you could definitely dehydrate for sure. Yep, put it on layaway. That is another idea. That's another idea because they do let you do that. All right, guys, it is 8:40. We were talking it up today, guys. All right. I need to eat something and apparently talk to my neighbor. She brought me some things. So, all right. I'm going to get off of here. Thank you guys for coming. We're going to do same thing next week, maybe not as long. And we will go from there. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being so involved. And yeah, enjoy the evening. Yes, 11:40 at Verna's. My goodness. Yes, good chatting. I agree, JJ. You're welcome for the live. All right. There's secrets around Verna. She's gonna let us know when she lets us know. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night and have a good week. The stand against my wall? It's a bookcase. I'm getting rid of some books. It's a bookcase. There we go. All right. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.